Hi, Robert Medlin here. I'd like to just give you a little bit of encouragement this morning. Sometimes you just get to the point when you're believing for something, you're trusting the Lord to take care of you, you're trusting the Lord to heal you, you're trusting the Lord to take care of and answer a prayer that you prayed, and things just look like they're not going to work out, and or look like they haven't worked out, and tend to get discouraged, or maybe you just are just worn out, just just feel like that you just don't have any faith at all. Well, I just want to encourage you. There's a scripture that says that Jesus is faithful when we're faithless. He is faithful when we're faithless. Paul wrote that to Timothy. Here's Paul. He's been shipwrecked all these times. He's spent a night and a day in the sea. He's been beaten and flogged, and he's been stoned to death, and all these things. And Jesus says, "Hey, Jesus is faithful when we're faithless." And it's true. Sometimes that you feel like that you've just you've believed as hard as you can believe, and I know many times some of the greatest miracles that my wife and I have experienced in our lives have happened when it just got to the point where it was just like it was all over. It looked like it wasn't happening. It looked like the Lord wasn't going to do it, and looked like everything was going to come crumbling down. All the hopes and dreams that we had. But Jesus is faithful when we're faithless. He loves you, and you get the greatest resistance from the enemy whenever the Lord is getting ready to do a miracle. You'll get all kinds of opposition and get all kinds of signs and people saying things and you thinking things that right at the end, right before your miracle comes. And so I just want to encourage you that the devil comes in to try to steal your faith. You remember Jesus taught that scripture about the parable of the sower, where the sower sows the seed on the ground, and some of the seed fell on rocky paths, and as soon as it sprouted right away because it was hot there, but it was rocky. There was no moisture. As soon as the sun came up and some pressure came, and the seed wilted and the plant wilted. And so Jesus explained that parable and said, as soon as the word is sown, you hear the promise from Jesus, you hear a word from Jesus, an encouraging word from Jesus at church, or you're reading the Bible, or just the Lord impresses you during prayer, or watching a TV ministry, or whatever. You get an encouraging word from the Lord, and you're just so excited about something in your life, and then all of a sudden, things just look like they're not happening. It looks like it's just it isn't going to happen, and you tend to want to give up. Well, Jesus said that what happens is Satan comes and tries to steal the word, so that you can't believe and receive what it is that you're wanting to receive, or needing to receive, or desiring to receive. Satan comes and steals that word out of your heart that you've heard, that you rejoiced in, but because things just kind of got a little went negative on you, you just I just give up. It's not going to happen. God's not going to answer that prayer. Well, what's happening is Satan is just stealing that word to limit you from blessings, to limit you from your testimony, to limit you from your joy. And so many times, every person, every Christian has that temptation to give up and just say, well, I guess that didn't work out. I guess that's not going to happen. And of course, as Christians, we're really good about making excuses about why God didn't do that. Well, it wasn't His will. If we ask anything according to His will, well, it must not have been His will, or He would have done it. Well, there are just some things that are just His will. It's His will for you to prosper. It says in 3 John verse 2, it says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you would prosper and be in health, even as your soul is prospering." And so something that's a clear direction about the will of God, that Jesus doesn't say no to that. He says, keep believing, keep believing, keep believing, and I'll do that for you. There are some things about whether you should take this job or take that job, or those kind of things, or things that are you really aren't clear about the will of God, and you just have to say, not my will, but your will be done, Lord. And so I just wanted to encourage you that for most of the things in life that you're believing for and praying for better, for more income, better jobs, for being able to be a greater blessing in your giving to the church, to be a greater blessing in giving to your family, to the poor. Jesus wants you to understand that whatever you're asking that's scriptural, whatever you desire when you pray, whatever you desire, if you desire a home, you would want a home, whatever you desire when you pray, believe you have received it and you will have it. And the Lord wants to just increase you and cause you to, beloved, I wish above all things, he says, that you would prosper and be in health, even as your soul is prospering. Well, your soul has to prosper. Your mind, will, and emotions has to prosper for you to continue to stand in faith. And so the Lord wants you to not give up so easy, and to just stand your ground. Don't worry about those waves that seem to be rising up and the winds that are blowing that are contrary to what you're trying to believe for. The Lord just says, keep believing, keep standing, and not give up. Don't just give up, but just keep standing and believing. And sometimes it'll take a while for those prayers to get answered, but just keep believing. And whatever things you desire when you pray, it says in Mark 11:24, believe you have received them. Notice that says past tense. He says, believe you have received them when you pray. Believe you have already received them, as if you had it in your hand, but you can't see it because it's by faith. Believe you have received it. Believe that Jesus has said yes to your prayer. And it says, and you will have it. Go read it for yourself in Mark 11:24. Whatever things you desire when you pray, believe you have received it, and you will have it. And so that just makes things simpler. And so just want to encourage you not to give up so easy. Be bolder in your prayers. Just because something didn't take place that you prayed for a long time ago, you gave up. Don't let that discourage you about praying for even more now. Just let that get you stirred up full of faith and just say, no, the devil stole that from me. He came and stole that word right out of my heart. No, I'm going to believe for something bigger. So the Lord wants you to just stand in faith, believe for big prayers. Just believe that he's going to do great things for you and answer your prayers. When you pray for a circumstance, believe that he sends angels and dispatches his angels to cause that to come to pass. Because just as it says in Hebrews chapter 1, it says, are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation? Angels are ministering spirits sent to serve us, to answer our prayers, not to be our slave, but they work for Jesus to serve us. They don't work for us, they work for him. And they take great delight for you to pray something so they can get into action and start coordinating that and making that come to pass. That gives the angels great delight. That's their purpose. And it gives us great delight when he fulfills that. And it gives the Lord great delight when you're standing in faith and believing for him. And so just keep that in mind, that even though you may feel like you get overwhelmed and you're faithless, he's faithful when you're faithless. So don't give up. Don't just let that feeling just say, well, I just don't believe it's going to happen. Don't let yourself get to that point. When you're discouraged, just rise up and say, no, Lord, you're faithful when I'm faithless. You're faithful. I'm just going to rely on your faith. You're the author and finisher of my faith. You are the author and you're the finisher. I'm going to let you finish this one, Lord. I'm going to let you finish this. I'm going to let you take over with my faith. I'm going to let you take over and finish this for me. You're the author and finisher of my faith, and you're faithful when I'm faithless. Well, I know this will bless you. This will get you a lot more answers to your prayer. This will put a lot more joy into your life. And I just pray that you'll understand that it's not the Lord coming trying to steal the promise from you. It's the devil who's trying to steal that word that's been sown to give you faith and hope and joy. He's trying to steal that word. Don't let him do it. Just keep saying, no, Jesus is faithful when I'm faithless. Jesus is faithful. Just continue to believe. Continue to confess your faith. Jesus is faithful, and you will see the answers to your prayer. Well, God bless you and have an awesome day.